the globe. Coal seam gas and its implications for our ecology, our community, our health is absolutely massive, and so it's brilliant that you've come along to learn a little bit about what I discovered in the United States. Hi everyone, I'm Jeremy Buckingham. I'm here to talk to the people of Mullumbimby and the Northern Rivers about my frack finding tour of the US. Australia isn't the first place that the unconventional gas or coal seam gas, shale gas has been developed. It's a mature industry in the United States. I went and had a look at coal seam gas and shale gas in the United States. I toured Texas, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, Montana, and then over to the East Coast, New York, Pennsylvania, Washington, to have a look at what a coal seam gas, shale gas industry looks like, and that's what I'm here talking to people about. Your choice is Norco or coal seam gas. We can't have dairy herds if we've got polluted water. We can't produce the quality food through this cooperative if you've got coal seam gas companies coming in onto our property, and the government chose the gas. And it's clear they've done that. They released their strategic regional land use plan, which promised what they promised to deliver to the people of New South Wales was no-go areas. No, Barry O'Farrell said no ifs, no buts, a guarantee. We'll rule coal seam gas out in our drinking water catchments. Didn't do it. Not 1 square inch of productive agricultural land is ruled out from coal seam gas. It's a beautiful country. It's a terrifying industry. In Wyoming, they call the coal bed methane, very similar to coal seam gas, they call it the rape, ruin and run industry. The industry comes in, establishes very quickly tens of thousands of wells, pipelines, holding ponds, high voltage transmission lines, CO2 scrubbers, power stations, a massive domination of the landscape by an industry. It rolls out, establishes very quickly, there's a boom, it has a massive footprint across a huge area, and then as the gas runs out, as the gas price changes, it disappears. The wells only last 10 to 20 years at most, and then that's what's happened in the United States. The industry has collapsed, and the legacy that's left behind is fractured geology, polluted groundwater, polluted surface water, millions or billions of litres of water, saline water pumped into the landscape, toxic chemicals, fugitive emissions from the methane leaking out from the fractured rock, leaking out everywhere, an absolute disaster. And the communities left with the legacy of the coal seam gas and left wondering what happened. Well, it's only obvious if you go and have a look. I'm the only member of Parliament who's been to the United States to have a look at it. Of all the other 140 or so MPs in Parliament, it's only the Greens that have bothered to really pick this issue up, to actually go and have a look at a mature, unconventional gas industry in the United States.
Drilling right down to the water tables and into the coal seam does release a huge amount of methane. What has been said about that methane at the moment is that it's actually contributing to global warming more than anything else in our country. So why would our politicians let that happen?
Really, I've talked about it, I've given speeches in Parliament. They've been condescending, they've been very dismissive. The Labor government, federal Labor government, the state coalition government, the National Party, they're all fully supportive of the coal seam gas industry. They believe the industry's hype, they believe the industry's science, which is very, very thin, if it exists at all. Huge questions remaining unanswered about the impact on our society, impact on groundwater, impact on so many elements of our environment, and they don't have the answers for that, yet they seem convinced that this is a good thing. The jobs come before the health of our community and our environment.
What I've been trying to do is promote the gas field free communities strategy here in this shire. 70 communities over in the Lismore and Tweed shires have already done this action, and it's one of the two main ways that we can protect ourselves from gas fields. So the two main ways are gas field free communities and direct action, peaceful direct action. And the idea of the gas field free communities is that everyone in the community is surveyed and is educated about the process. He's given a DVD and a leaflet, and so that everyone knows what's actually going on with this whole thing that the government's imposing on us.
It's terrifying. The first thing you see when you fly into Texas is coal seam gas. The first thing I saw of the continent of the United States was, the first thing I could make out in the landscape was the massive white web thing across the landscape of northern Dallas.
It's just really about me talking to my neighbours, because we really feel so strongly, we're really upset about the whole thought of our beautiful northern rivers, our air, our water, our soil, our gardens, and our friends in Mullumbimby, our friends the bees, and we just want to make sure that this doesn't just get destroyed. And so I think together we'll just declare our street. I'm going to start with my street. I always like to do what I can with what I've got, and it's extraordinary that other people are rising up and doing the same thing in their streets. And so far we've got the Channon, we've got Lismore, Maynard, Mullum, Ocean Shores, Brunswick Heads. All these communities are coming out, and down in the Illawarra it's a big movement down there in Camden and Sydney. My son is getting active in Sydney. He's terrified of what's happening in his water, so we're all getting together.
People are looking to the Northern Rivers as the epicentre of resistance against the brand new massive fossil fuel. People want the governments and policymakers to act on climate change, to rein in our emissions, our greenhouse gas emissions. In Australia, we're at the front line of that fight, and the Northern Rivers is the epicentre of that. The industry's been fought to a standstill through peaceful, non-violent, non-negotiable direct action. That is fantastic, and the pressure is starting to work. The State Labor Party changed its position. We've had 5 Liberal Party MPs change their position just in the last week. So I don't think it'll be long before the National Party will be able to sustain ignoring their own constituents, their community, and if they do, well, I think that they'll be damaged at the federal election, which is coming up next year. So the Greens will keep working with community, standing beside them. I visited Blockade today at Glenorchy, beautiful place, fantastic community, defending themselves, and they should have every right to determine what happens in their community and how it happens.
It's all explained on the CSG Free Northern Rivers website, but if people are interested in it, they can also contact me at csgfreebarandshire@gmail.com.